Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Laura, for those of you that do not know, and today I'm really excited because I'm back with another romance recommendations video. Today we are going to be talking about workplace romances. This is a trope that so many people have asked me to do videos for, and I kind of wanted to bring in some different aspects of workplace romance because I feel like a lot of people think just strictly office romance or maybe some other type of job, but I tried to include a diverse group of different types of like workplace quote-unquote romances for you guys for this video. I'm super excited to share the book recs with you guys today because some of these books are like my all-time favorites, so I cannot wait to let you guys know about them. But before we get started, I want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored, and it is sponsored by Ana Luisa Jewelry, which I'm so excited and thankful for. Thank you, Ana Luisa, for working with me on this video. I'm happy to announce that after doing a previous collaboration with them, I am now a brand ambassador for them, which is super exciting because this is a jewelry brand that not only do I absolutely love and wear all the time, but I really love and respect all of the values that they put into their brand. This is a brand that cares about the environment. They care about making quality, beautiful, premium pieces at a good price for everybody, and all of the jewelry is just absolutely beautiful. A lot of it's very minimalistic and simple, but I kind of love that because then it kind of goes with everything and you can always switch it up and make it look different with different outfits. Today I'm wearing some of the pieces that they sent me and I'm absolutely obsessed with them. The first is this layered necklace. It's 3 smaller necklaces all piled together. I love it so much. It's really cute, but again, simple, adds a lot, and it's really, really stunning. They also sent me these earrings. I love Ana Luisa's earrings. I wear them constantly. I was sent some in a video I did previously with them, and I wear them all the time. Some of them you can even see on my ears now, but the little lightning ones that I have in my earlobe are new from them, and I'm so obsessed with them. Also, this ring, which is this really cute braided design. I love all of the jewelry that I got today is in gold, but they do sell silver. There's definitely something for everybody on this website. I think you guys will love it, and you guys can also shop for other people on there. I know the holidays are fast approaching, and so if you guys shop on there, your first order can be 10% off, and I'll have all the information on that linked down below, as long as some other information about the brand and the links to the exact pieces that I'm wearing for anybody that's curious. But yeah, I love the brand, I love working with them, but I'm genuinely serious when I say that I'm obsessed with the quality of these pieces, the designs that they have. I wear them constantly even when I'm not filming videos for you guys, and I think that you guys will really, really like them too, and you'll appreciate the prices. And yeah, I'd love for you guys to check them out and see if you'll find anything that you like. Let me know if you purchase anything. I'd love to see you guys with some of the jewelry on. So thank you again to Ana Luisa for working with me on this video, but for now, let's get into the book recs. So when I think of workplace romances, the first author that immediately comes to my brain is Vi Keeland. I'm obsessed with Vi Keeland. I love all of her books, but she does write a lot of work and kind of office romance books. So the first 3 books on my list are from her, but I love them all so, so much, and I didn't feel like I could get rid of any of them. I feel like you guys need to know about all 3. So the first book on my list is Boss Man. Boss Man is about this girl who goes on a first date and it's not going well at all. She goes to the bathroom to talk to her friend on the phone and tell her how horribly it's going, and she meets this guy in the hallway who basically calls her out for being rude and is like, why would you do that to this man? Like, that's so disrespectful. And she's kind of like taken off guard and she's like, okay, anyways, I don't care. Goes back to her date, and then this man that she met in the hallway comes over, acts like he knows her, and while it's so ridiculous and crazy, he starts like making up crazy stories about them and like their past, like knowing each other, and her date obviously has no idea. It's pretty entertaining even though she's like so confused by it. Little does she know, when she arrives at her new job the next day, this man is her boss. He also had no clue. And so it kind of starts off there. They kind of had this weird first introduction, but the story continues. And what I love about Vi Keeland's books is that they always start off with like some type of like quirky, fun meeting, and then her books usually get like super deep and have a lot of plot twists, a lot of interesting plot development, and just something crazy always happens in each and every one of her books, and I really, really love that about them. I appreciate that they're not given away in kind of the synopsis, and you get to kind of discover the character and the plot yourself as you keep reading. So I really love that about her books. That's the first one that I highly, highly recommend for workplace romance. The next book on my list is called We Shouldn't, also by Vi Keeland. This one is about a girl girl who is applying for a job and she has an interview, and she goes to this interview and she goes to her car before the interview starts and realizes that she has a ticket. There's another car that is the exact make and model of her car in front of her with no ticket. So she's like, you know what, I've had a bad day. I'm just gonna move the ticket onto this other car. She moves the ticket, ends up breaking the person's windshield wiper, and she's like, I just need to go to my interview. She goes, she meets this guy in the elevator who's like super sweet and charming, but when she gets to the office for her interview, she realizes that this is her rival in this interview and he's competing for the same job as her, and he also knows that she broke his windshield wiper and saw everything, and he does not like her very much for obvious reasons, and the relationship kind of starts off there with them both applying and interviewing for the same job, and it continues from that point forward. And like I said with everything before, Vi Keeland's books are always very unpredictable and fun, and you can expect a lot of chaos in them ensuing. This book is no exception. I really love it. I love the characters, I love the story, and I think you guys will too. The next book and last book by Vi Keeland in this video is called Beautiful Mistake. This one is about a girl who is out at a bar with her friend, and her friend just had like a bad breakup or something, and this boy cheated on her, and this girl sees a man at the bar that she thinks is her friend's boyfriend, so she goes up to him and like curses him out, is so mean and rude to him. Turns out it was the wrong guy. It's not the guy that was seeing her friend, and so she's totally embarrassed and just like completely mortified. The next day she shows up to a class that she is to be a teacher's assistant at, and it turns out the professor, the man that she'll be working under the whole semester, is the man from the night before at the bar. So she made a complete fool of herself, and now she has to work with him, and it goes from there. This one in particular was so crazy. I remember this book just going to places I did not expect whatsoever, and it made for a really intriguing, interesting story that really kept my attention the whole time, and I think you guys will enjoy that. The romance is also so sweet and beautiful, and I loved it. A lot going on in this book, but it's definitely worth the ride, and I highly recommend it. Next book on my list is called Real by Katy Evans. This is actually a series, but just talking about the first book, it does continue with like the same couple for a few of the books, and then there's different couples that kind of get their own books throughout the series. But this first book, Real, is about a girl who becomes a traveling physical therapist for this guy, Remington, who is a fighter, and he needs someone to travel with him to help him out during his season. He has a lot of anger issues, a lot of troubling behavior. This girl commits to the job because it's just a really good job. She was an athlete previously, but she had an injury that made her just go back to being a physical therapist and not doing her, I think she was like a runner or something, her athletic endeavors. So she's kind of stuck in this job, but she goes and works for Remington, and he immediately is kind of drawn to her while she's on this job, and she doesn't want it to become unprofessional, and it kind of goes from there. He's very convincing and very attracted to her, and the story kind of goes. And I really love this one. I love Remington so much. I just love the story. It's very much like Bad Boy, if you like that kind of thing, if you like the fighter aspect. I think it's kind of a different book than what you would expect for most workplace, because technically she works for him, but it's like kind of unconventional. They travel around the country, he goes to his fights, but it's definitely a fun one, and I really love the romance that is unveiled in this book, and I think you guys will too. The next book on my list is called Stay by Kenndy and Serena Bowen. This is actually the second book in the WAG series from them, which is also a spin-off series, but you can totally read this book on its own without reading anything previous, and it'll make complete sense. It's about a girl who basically works as an anonymous assistant through this website for this man who is a famous hockey player, and he's a single dad going through a lot in life, and this girl is like a super big hockey fan, just got divorced, and she works for him, and they don't know it's each other, or she, I guess, doesn't know him at all, just know that it's him, but she kind of has an inkling that it might be him, and he ends up giving her tickets to go watch him play hockey, and that's kind of where they meet and things start to happen. But I love this story so much. It was super like random. I feel like it's kind of a unique plot with this whole application of her being the assistant who's anonymous. It's kind of interesting. I also love the single parent trope that we have here with him having kids, and it's just a really sweet story. I love it so much, and I love the aspect of him being a famous hockey player. I think that makes it super fun, so I highly recommend this. I do recommend both books in the WAG series. I love them both, but this one in particular obviously has that kind of workplace environment or kind of employee environment, so I thought for that reason it would be a good recommendation for this video. Next recommendation is called Reasonable Doubt by Whitney G. This is about a girl girl who is a law student, and she has access to this lawyers only website where lawyers can kind of talk to each other and assist each other with different cases and stuff, but she gets a login from somebody she knows who's a lawyer, and she ends up talking to this man on there who's also a lawyer, and she convinces him that she's also a lawyer and acts like she's completely somebody else. But turns out she ends up getting an internship at his law office. So it's kind of one of those things where they know each other online and they know each other in real life and they don't realize that it's each other. And a lot of chaos ensues from this. This man has a really tortured past, and he has a problem with anybody who lies to him even in the slightest circumstance. So the fact that this girl is kind of pretending and putting on a whole facade about who she is turns out to be a real issue, and it kind of goes from there. So this one's definitely interesting. I really enjoyed it. It's a book where you kind of have to read it in 3 parts. I don't know, if you look it up you'll see, but I really enjoyed it, and I like how this is an actual office space kind of book, so I think you guys will like this one. It was fun. Next book is a favorite of mine, and that is Mr. Masters by TL Swan. I've talked about this book a decent amount on my channel, and it is about a girl who moves from Australia to become a nanny in the UK. She thinks that she's going to be working for a woman and her 2 kids, but she gets there and it turns out to be a man, and she didn't know. Obviously she decides to stay there because it's not like she's gonna fly home just because it's a man, but she lives in his house and she watches his 2 kids. One is a teenager, one is younger than that, and they kind of have this weird vibe with each other. They don't really get along, but as the story progresses, they start to kind of see each other in a different light, and it goes on. And I just love this book. I love that she's the nanny. I think it's just kind of a fun spin on the workplace environment, and I just love the relationship between these two. I love the witty banter. I love how the story kind of goes over, and I think you guys will like it too. So highly, highly recommend that one. It's one of my all-time faves on this list. Next book is another one of my favorites, and that is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapita, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure. This is about a girl who is an assistant to a famous football player, and she ends up leaving the position early on in the book, and something happens, and you'll kind of see how the story goes. I don't want to spoil it, but I really love this book. Also, it's kind of considered the trope, what do people call it? The like grumpy sunshine trope, where one of them is kind of always in a constant mood and the other one's super happy and upbeat. That's definitely this book. The main guy character is super like broody and kind of doesn't share his emotions too often, but as the book continues you kind of see a softer side to him, which I always really enjoy and think is super sweet. So I think you guys will like this one. It's definitely slow burn. It's a long book, but it's one of my favorites and I really think you guys will enjoy it. Next up is kind of a 2-in-1 recommendation because it's 2 books from one series. This is the Forbidden Desire series by Kendall Ryan, and I'm recommending books 3 and 4. This series overall is about a group of brothers who own a company together. The 3rd book is about one of the brothers and his assistant, so very workplace, and the 4th book is about one of the brothers and his tutor, his Italian tutor. So they're both kind of encompassing some type of work environment. I really love them. I love the 4th one the most. I think it's one of my favorites. It's age gap. It's really cute. But the 3rd one is great as well. I really enjoy Kendall Ryan's writing overall. I think she does a great job at getting the story across in a way that doesn't drag too much. And so both of these stories, they're really fun and quick reads, but I think that the relationships and the romance always last and I always remember the books. So I think you guys will like both of these. You can read the whole series, books 1 through 4, but 3 and 4 are the ones with the workplace romance. Books 1 and 2 are about the same couple. I love those 2 books as well, and I really truly do recommend the whole series, but 3 and 4 have the workplace aspect. The last book on my list is one that probably does not come unexpected from you guys, and that is Breathe by Abbi Glines, which is one of my favorite books. It is the first book in the Seabreeze series. I'm obsessed with this series. It's just so cute and fun and just an easy read. I love it. This first book follows a girl who, when her mother falls pregnant and can't work at her job anymore, she decides to take over for her mother. They've always just lived them two. She's always been one of those kids that almost raised herself, and she realizes that she truly can't let nobody be working in their house and she needs to step up. So she decides to take over her mother's position, who works at this mansion on the beach where they live. and it turns out that this mansion belongs to this really famous guy who is a singer, very popular amongst the teenage crowd, and he goes and stays there during the summers, and his mother worked there as kind of like a housekeeper. So she resumes the position. She's not really affected by this guy, even though he's probably like every girl her age's like biggest fantasy. Even though she very much keeps to herself, he takes an immediate liking to her. He's very into the fact that she like doesn't even know who he is or doesn't want to picture his number or anything. She's just there to work. He respects that. He likes that about her. And so the book kind of takes off from there. It's really cute. I love it so much. And again, this is a series. It's about a whole group of friends. Each friend has a different book. It's really cute. It's really fun. But the first one, I highly recommend. I really love it. So guys, those are all of the books for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any workplace romances that you want to recommend to me, please let me know in a comment down below. I love workplace romances. I'd love to read you guys' recommendations. Also, let me know if you read any of the books from this video, if there's any that you're going to be adding to your TBR since watching it. I'd love to hear all about it. Definitely let me know. Other than that, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you've not already. Again, I want to say thank you to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video, and if you guys still haven't, go check out their website. I know you guys will love it. But other than that, I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!